you know, be there to walk you guys through some character creation, or if you'd prefer, I can just build you guys a first level character, and then the first session will be introducing the world, letting you guys ask questions about, where your characters are from and that type of stuff.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
I'll let Chris do whatever he wants to do, but I might need that. But I mean, I don't know. Warrior kind of sounds good. That way, I
okay,
can work my way into being something else. I like, like
yeah,
if it's something new, I need to kind of be eased into it. I would think.
yeah, that's fine. And then if you want to, too, the other thing is we're playing in a system where multi-classing is a thing that you can do, as well as there are rules for retraining. So multi-classing is if you start as a fighter, the next level you take, you don't necessarily have to take it as fighter. You could go, okay, I kind of get how the spells work now, so I saw somebody casting spells. I want to go into being a sorcerer, so you'd be a first level fighter, first level sorcerer, or you could be a second level fighter, or whatever. And then the retraining rules are, for some amount of time and for a sacrifice of some amount of gold, you can change pretty much anything. So
I mean, that's pretty cool. So
yeah,
yeah, like the learning curve,
I
but
limit the retraining stuff. I limit to story wise. You're gonna have to find somebody to train you essentially, but I don't make it that difficult to find somebody. But it is a role playing thing, just so you're not just like I'm retraining. So, but again, but yeah, no, yeah, and if you guys, again, if you're okay with just building characters, we're just gonna do character building and then world introduction and stuff. So, Allie and Mike, I think, already had their character concepts. I'm pretty sure Allie's done making her character. I have no idea if Mike is.
hmm. eh, man, the lag is real on wipe day. Like what the hell? No, seriously, dude. Like I haven't had this much lag since I've been on the server, and all of a sudden, like I barely touch a button and I'm lagged out.
Yeah. Don't need that open. And then the other site you guys are gonna go to, and I'll either message you the websites later, so that way you have them. But the other website you guys are gonna have to join is the Roll20 site, which is the virtual tabletop.
Okay.
So, other than that, and then if you want to find out what Chris is wanting to play, or if he has an idea, I can start setting up like some guidance for him too. So,
Yeah, I mean you'll have to talk to him about that
okay.
just so maybe he can get an idea.
Yeah, and I mean, if once I add him to the chat, he can ask in there, and he can get Mike and Allie and me. We'll talk with him there, see what he wants. So,
Yeah. I mean, some things seems pretty straightforward so far. Like I'm not completely a dumbass, I guess, but it's
yeah.
gonna take time to get used to everything for sure.
Oh yeah, it takes time to get used to any new system. I mean, and especially if this is your first role playing anything. Um, I run I run my games as I like dungeon delve type, puzzle solving type adventures. So I don't run a lot of like social interaction stuff, but it is a part of it. So, but I tend to like just dungeon delve type stuff anyways. So
Fair
I like
enough.
designing those because that's like making puzzles for other people to solve.
I mean, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
being
and
creative. Thus, I
well,
play Rust.
yeah, and the thing with D&D too is even if there's no outright rule that says you can do something, what you're going to do is say, "Hey, if I want to do this, how would I do that?" And me and Allie and Mike, we can tell you different ways, or ultimately I'll tell you, "Okay, so if you do this and this, that would be how you would do this."
Okay.
So, And again, at first level, there's certain things that you may not be able to do. So, but if it's then there's also the rule of cool that if it's cool enough, we'll make it work.
So the rule of cool, I guess, is an actual thing that y'all do.
Yeah. No, I was playing a paladin whose mount was a giant land shark, and they don't have the ability to climb, but they have these big ass claws and they can dig through the earth. So I asked Mike at the time, he was the DM. It's like, hey, can I just have this thing make a climb check and then I just ride it up the wall? And he's like, yeah, go ahead and let's see. I rolled a 19 on the die, which was like a 30 climb check for it. And so he's like, yeah, no, it's fine. It climbs the wall easily.
Damn. It's wipe day. I'm using all my shit. There we go. No, seriously, like when it's wipe day, I'll use all of my scrap because you can't take it with you next round, and unfortunately, all the blueprints are getting wiped.
Yeah.
So we'll have to relearn everything, which is also cool in its own right. All right, nighttime tour.
Oh, okay.
All right, my base looks kind of evil at night, though. I'm not even lying.
So the other thing I would tell you to do is start kind of thinking of a backstory for your character.
Wait, backstory?
Yeah, like why? Who is your adventurer? Why do they do what they do?
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, if you want to, you can base it off of pretty much anything. But like, I had a sorcerer who was a half-dragon. He's a half-dragon sorcerer, and his entire thing was his dad was kind of a prick because his dad was a green dragon, and he was motivated to go out and adventure so he could kick his dad's ass. And then it turned into some weird thing with blood magic, and then I threw a lunk at the devil, and the devil exploded. But that wasn't backstory. That was the end of a campaign.
Okay.
But yeah, so originally, like, just have an idea. So, and this will be part of our session 0, is I tell everybody a certain number of things that your character should have. Like, they should have a goal. You should have a new new history event. You should have an old history event.
What about Grim Reaper reincarnated because the devil didn't want him anymore?
I got something for you.
Oh, Lord.
That actually works with what Allie's doing. I could make you the incarnation of the death card if you, because she's trying to do a tarot thing. So.
Huh. And somehow that.
I mean, you're not gonna have a lot of options at first, but you know, you could build like a scythe fighter, and you know, so you would say, you know, so why are you adventuring? What's your goal? What do you want out of it?
Well, if I'm going with the whole backstory of Grim Reaper, retired Grim Reaper back in human form, it would be to get out of the deal he made with the devil.
Okay. See, now I want you to be a warlock, because warlocks are actually in deals with devil, or in deals with some higher power. So it would work really well as a warlock backstory. But if you want to start off as a fighter, and we can ease you into the warlock thing, we could work on that. So.
That's actually a thing that's doable?
Yep.
Swapping characters like midway through a campaign?
Well, again, you could multi-class into a warlock, or you could retrain. Like, you could not to bring your own trauma into this, but we could say when you're retraining is like you had false memory syndrome, and now that you've been confronted with the contract you made with whatever demon you made it with,
I mean, it could just be amnesia.
You remembered how to use your warlock powers. So.
It'd still be amnesia. Amnesia's better.
Yeah, either way, that type of stuff. But I avoid saying amnesia because it's pro-fish.
Hmm.
But essentially, same thing. Yeah, it's just you kind of made something up. I would say that you probably wouldn't remember yourself being a Grim Reaper, but you kind of get flashes of this life that you had where you were a servant to some higher power, and it involved a lot of bloodshed. Oh, come on.
Trying to think. I was
Mostly
doing the
because,
actual final tour of the base.
yeah, I was about to say, to be an avatar of death, you would have had to have been like at least a 15.
Sorry, I was opening a garage door and it literally just drowned you out.
Okay. I wasn't saying much. I was just saying, if you were a literal avatar of death, I think they're like a CR 15 at the minimum, so...
What is that?
Challenge rating.
Oh.
If you have to fight death, he's at least a challenge for 4 15th level characters.
But what if you are death?
She sits in her plane and doesn't really do anything, and orders around weird looking creatures. There's a, wow. We're playing in our world, but in Pathfinder world, there's a character called Pharasma, and she's the goddess of death. So, and the psychopomps, her servants, are the things that escort souls to where they end up. So, which again actually fits in my world, because my world's kind of based on the idea. My world is based on the idea that there were 15 extraordinary individuals in the past who became gods, and so now most of the world's religions are based on those 15 people.
Interesting. I am absolutely in love with this base, though. I think it turned out well. And it doesn't look like a freaking glass factory.
Tempt me, Lydia.
Doesn't. Tempt you to do what? Huh?
I'll find you the picture of the place I'm thinking of.
Well, then find it.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't a glass factory.
Got you down yourself now.
No, I can't find it. I think they put up a new glass factory up there, like a Chinese-owned one. So if I find pictures of a glass factory in Kettering, Ohio, it's just showing the new one.
A likely story. I'm picking on you now because I can't.
I'm aware.
Simply for the fact that you couldn't find it. Oh,
Well,
how
I
did I miss
found
that?
it, but I need to find a picture that looks like your base, because I used to drive under it all the time.
Wait, I don't need that. I need cloth. I don't understand. That's not cool. 3 of them? Like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah, that's the best picture of it, but it doesn't really illustrate what I was trying to illustrate.
Ah.
So make me go up to Ohio and take a picture myself.
We both know you won't, so go for it.
Yeah. Well, no, because if I try to do that, I'll get shot in the knees. So.
Yeah, your dad might have a weird thing to say about that one.
Well, I told him if I ever say I'm going back to Ohio, shoot me in the knees.
I mean, I'd do that. Only difference is that you would owe me the price of a bullet at least, because they're very expensive now.
I'm sure we have a bullet for you. I also don't trust you to actually shoot me now that you're not a soldier. So.
That's kind of fucked up.
Do you go and shoot often?
I've been to the range a couple of times since then, trying to get my reactions lowered.
Okay. And how do you do?
It looks mostly like gut and chest shots for the most part. Gut, chest, and head, not below. I mean, I still have the old one somewhere.
So yeah, I would trust my dad to shoot me in the knees.
Well, excuse me. I would at least walk up to you to do it. Jeez. I would like be in your face, kind of, you know, shoot the knee sort of thing, because I don't trust me either.
Yeah. There's not a good picture of it.
You mean you can't manipulate a photo to look like what I built?
I mean, I could, but
that's true.
Lydia, I'm a graphic designer. Yes, I could make it look like your literal base is in Kettering, Ohio.
That would be cool. All right, I'll wait here for it.
I don't want to work in it.
All right, I need one more.
I'm too busy building a world.
Building a world is not that difficult.
I had to create 7 different religions with 15 gods each.
I mean, that seems more complicated than it should have been, you know? That sounds like a you problem.
No, it's totally a me problem, but I'm just saying, because, you know, in the real world, there's not one religion for all of the world.
Okay.
So, there are 7 basic religions.
Why does there have to be any religions in it?
Gods are kind of a necessity. They grant clerics and paladins their abilities. They rule over the afterlife, which is totally a real thing, and people know it. But still, they want to say the gods don't exist.
You're weird. Oh,
I am weird. Because I believe that Jehovah exists, but I believe he's a dick, so I don't want to listen to him.
It sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem, especially if he's Greek. And I have to go up there and tell St. Peter, yeah, I didn't believe in your dude because he was a dick.
There we go. I got roof view now. Woohoo! Daytime view. I'm doing the last tour of the base.
So I have
How many more did I fucking...
A Greek religion, a Nordic religion, a Christian religion, a Hindu religion,
So you basically used other religions and not made up ones because you didn't have an original thought?
Again, building a religion is kind of difficult, and most religions are kind of very similar in how they're set up, actually, because they all kind of worship the same shit, so. But I changed a lot of different things. I just made them based off of, I think this one's Celtic. Yeah. Celtic. This one is Aztec, Incan, and Mexican. And this one's Egyptian. So yeah. That and the most fake religions are kind of based off of the Greek pantheon. And technically the Greek pantheon's kind of based off of the Nordic pantheon. And the Egyptian pantheon's kind of based off of the Greek pantheon. And the Roman pantheon's based on whoever they decided to fuck up that week. and then they decided to go, oh yeah, this Christian thing. Yeah, let's force that down everybody's throat.
Not enough cloth. I gotta go get some more cloth real quick. So there's a wall in this. Somehow. But I missed it.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, once Chris accepts my friend request, we'll get him added in. I'll get you guys the websites that you can look into.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Like I said, the big things for character building, if you want to write a real short story about your character, that's sometimes helpful. But it's what I like to have from players is you need a goal, you need a recent memory, you need like a childhood memory, like a distant memory, and I want a fear from you. So.
Okay. How about death that's afraid of death?
Well, I was about to say, you don't have to give it to me now.
Oh, come on, I'm being funny. That's kind of funny. Death that's afraid of death? Come on. Death that's afraid of dying. There it is.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do that, then I'm going to throw shit at you like undead, and then you're going to have to confront that stuff, so. Which is, if you're afraid of dying, I would assume you're afraid of coming back as an undead, so. Because you'd have to die first. But but something like, and why would you be afraid of death? And you would explain that in your, in your old history, is you're afraid of dying because this happened. So, but those, like I said, those are usually the 4 questions I ask every player to at least have an idea of, and they don't have to be perfectly intact at character creation. You just need a good idea, and then you can kind of advance it as you go along. You can essentially level it up as you're going. So.
Oh. Hang on.
I'm also going to ask you what pantheon you want to be from.
What is Pantheon? What is that?
Which religion do you want to be from? But that's more of where does your character come from?
Christian.
Okay.
I mean, can we just do Messianic Jew?
I mean,
no, nothing.
No, because,
I'm just making fun. It's making fun.
well, I was about to say, because the Christian religion isn't, well, it's kind of Christian because I made the continent named Christor, I think. The Christian continent is, oh no, it's Orden. I think I had one named Christor at some spot, and then I changed it. So you'd be Ordanish. And your ultimate god is named Hunima.
Does that gotta be a thing?
Hmm?
Does that gotta be a thing? Or can't the character be atheist?
Well, you could be atheist, but it's more of me trying to figure out where your character grew up. Do you want to be from the Roman Empire? Do you want to be from the Greek Empire? Like, it's more of like that type of thing.
Oh.
I got Greek, I got Roman, I got Nordic, I've got
You see,
Indian.
this is kind of an uncomfortable thing for me because I actually believe in God and stuff. And so, like, it's weird, like trying to pick a different God in a game. Like, it's just, to me, it's weird. I know it's a game, but it's weird. It feels weird.
That's fine. I mean, you're not being a cleric, so it doesn't really matter who your patron is. So if you wanted to be atheistic, you can be atheistic. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, uncomfortable is the wrong word to use there. It's just, I don't know. Like, it's just weird. It just feels weird. mostly because I was raised a different way, and like, you
You
want
act like I wasn't raised as
Pentecostal.
a.
There you go, Pentecostal.
I was about to say you act like I wasn't raised as a Christian, Lydia.
Was it? I didn't say that. No, I didn't act that way. I'm just saying how I was raised and how I haven't conformed to the ideology of anything else. So,
Fair. But again, religion isn't necessarily the important thing. This is more just trying to figure out because I have seven primary continents and then a big city continent. And if you don't want to deal with any of the god stuff, you can be from the city continent, which is just believe whatever you want to believe. We kind of try and make it work.
huh. Let me see now. Okay, that's interesting. So realistically, if you even want to say realistically, but realistically,
Why don't you get a set of fighters?
I would say I would shoot for like, and my ideology says that I would rather be an atheist than to believe in a different god. That's how far I'll take it. that works, right? Does that work?
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to buy into. You're not a cleric, so you don't have to be beholden to a certain deity, so it's fine.
Fair enough.
But do you want to be from and then here's where I'm going to say it. Do you want to be from the place that's like ancient Greece? Do you want to be from the place that's like ancient Rome? Do you want to be from the place that's like ancient Scandinavia?
How
Old
many?
India.
Okay.
Which is New India. The British Isles, the Native American times Americas, or Egypt, ancient Egypt.
Greek sounds fine.
Okay, which is good because we're starting on the Greek continent anyways. So.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Or do you want to be from the big giant city that occupies an entire big island in an archipelago?
What is that?
It's a what? Okay, what do you need to find?
Huh?
What do you need to find? Do you know what an archipelago is?
No.
Okay, an archipelago is a chain of islands.
Oh, okay.
Usually it's a collection or a bunch of islands, like the Philippines aren't.
Are they not like, like any specific islands? They're just islands in the middle of nowhere?
If you want to know the history of it, the big islands, so the very center island has the world's largest city on it, which takes up most of the island. There are 7 big islands that surround it. Those are rumored to be dragon birthplaces, and then there's small islands around those islands. So.
I mean, the islands sound pretty cool.
Okay. So then you would be Paklethian.
Be what?
Paklethian. The city's
Paklethian?
called the city's called Paklethia. And that's the place where believe whatever religion you want. They're all kind of correct. It's essentially it's the American way with religion is like, look, we have these basic Christian ideas, but if you want to be Muslim, you can be Muslim. If you want to be Jewish, you can be Jewish. If you want to be Hindu, you can be Hindu. That's kind of the vibe in Paklethia. So, and if you wanted to be atheistic, then you can be atheistic.